The trig function y equal to cosine x does not have an inverse. It fails the horizontal line test. However, if we restrict the domain from 0 to pi, then we have a function that is constantly decreasing and is 1 to 1. Y equal to inverse cosine x will have a domain of x largely between -1 and 1, and a range of y largely between 0 and pi. Find the exact value of inverse cosine 0. Means we are looking for the arc whose cosine is equal to 0. Looking at the unit circle, from 0 to pi, the arc whose cosine is 0 matches the point 0, 1, because x is equal to 0 and x represent cosine, will be the arc x equal to pi over 2. So the solution is the arc whose cosine is 0 is pi over 2, or 90 degrees. Find the exact value of inverse cosine is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2. We are looking for the arc whose cosine is negative square root of 2 over 2. The reference angle, looking at the reference triangle, the reference angle will be pi over 4, because cosine pi over 4 is equal to square root of 2 over 2. But we're looking for a negative cosine, and that negative cosine in the interval 0 pi will be located in the second quadrant. So using the reference angle pi over 4, we're going to look for the angle in the second quadrant. It's going to be pi minus pi over 4, which means it's going to be 4 pi over 4. Pi is really 4 pi over 4 minus pi over 4. So the angle that we're looking for is 3 pi over 4. Therefore, the arc whose cosine is equal to negative square root of 2 over 2 is equal to 3 pi over 4. Because cosine pi over 12 is between 0 and pi largely, the inverse exists, and the inverse cosine of cosine pi over 12 is equal to pi over 12. Now, for B, because negative 0.4 belongs to the interval -1, 1. So negative 0.4 is largely between -1 and 1. The inverse of x exists. Therefore, cosine of the inverse cosine of negative 0.4 is equal to negative 0.4. Now, negative 2 pi over 3 does not belong to the interval 0 pi. From 0, because it's a negative angle, we're gonna go clockwise for 2/3 pi, 0.66, and we ended up in the third quadrant, negative 2 pi over 3. However, because cosine is an even function, cosine is even, it means that cosine negative 2 pi over 3, cosine representing x, is the same as cosine 2 pi over 3, and 2 pi over 3 is between 0 and pi. Therefore, inverse cosine negative 2 pi over 3 is equal in value to 2 pi over 3. Now for d pi radians, which is approximately 3.14.15 radians, does not belong to the interval negative 1, 1, which is the domain of the inverse cosine function. Therefore, the inverse cosine of pi is undefined, has no meaning. So cosine inverse cosine of pi, because of the inner function, is also undefined.